Hunters, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Les doy la bienvenida nuevamente aquí al canal, conmigo su host, el Diablo. Les doy la bienvenida nuevamente a su canal de El Hater. En esta ocasión tenemos los manteles largos para recibir a nada más y nada menos que a John y a Chuck, que son el guitarrista, vocalista y bajista de la banda Incantation desde Pensilvania, Estados Unidos, esta bandota legendaria de death metal que acaban de lanzar el día de hoy su más reciente álbum de estudio titulado Unholy Deification, que está siendo lanzado a través del sello Relapse Records. Chuck, John, thanks a lot for being here. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, man. Nice to meet you.
Fucking great.
Awesome, man. Thanks a lot for being part of this segment. It's called Conversations from the Underground, and in which I try to spread the metal culture in Spanish-speaking countries, because I like to this beautiful and wholesome culture to grow in these countries, because I feel we just haven't enough of it, and I would like to see more and more metalheads on the streets on a daily basis.
That's cool. Awesome. Hell yeah. That's great.
Yeah, man. And without further ado, I will ask the first question. This question is courtesy of Emil Hansen, the guitarist and singer for the Danish band Terminalist. I invite you to check out their upcoming sophomore album, The Crisis as Condition. And the question is this: if you are at a party and someone approaches you to ask for a dance, what song should be playing in order for you to get up from your seat and dance?
That.
I mean, I'm not particularly a dancer in any way.
Me neither.
So,
I would have to
One
say
song that makes you say, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, if I had to dance, the only kind of dancing I'd be able to do is slam dancing. So it'd have to be maybe Agnostic Front, Victim, what was it? What the fuck's the song called? Victim in Pain. Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of dance?
Yeah, that's the only kind of dance I could do. Otherwise, I'll really look like a jerk.
Yeah.
Even slamming, I'll look like a jerk if no one else is.
Yeah.
I guess I'd say I have to jump into a pit as well. Maybe like something by Whiplash or something, maybe like Power Thrash to Death or something, like,
yeah,
sure, something like, just strong, straightforward, or like Blinded by Fear by At the Gates, maybe, like, it's kind of
At the Gates is a good one.
Yeah.
Very sneaky way to avoid dancing, and very, very, very wise. Yeah, I will dance with you, but we will wait to D.R.I. to sound or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
I will ask you to dance with me. We can bang together.
Yes, I could dance to some D.R.I. Like I'd rather be sleeping or something like that.
Yeah, sure. Couch slouch or something. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah, man. The next question I got for you guys is: metalheads are often uncomprehended, misjudged, and in some cases bullied in their youth and even since their childhood. When growing up, did you have someone in your life who tried to do these kind of things to you?
I can go first. Yeah, definitely. I mean, growing up in the 80s, for me, it was definitely like being metal was definitely an outcast. I mean, it's not like that at all now, but back then, if you had long hair, you get harassed definitely by the cops and stuff like that. I mean, they would think that you automatically have drugs on you or doing something wrong or whatnot, but also just the assorted you know, kind of, I guess you're sort of thugs or whatever, you know, like, or just, I mean, I used to get like, threatened and stuff by everybody, you know, like the jocks at school or something like that would give me crap, or, you know, some sort of, you know, just your normal kind of thugs or whatever. I mean, I live right next to Paterson, New Jersey, so we would have a lot of people kind of come over from Paterson, New Jersey, and you know, give us a lot of crap for being metal and stuff like that. You just look at, like, back then, people would just kind of look at you as some kind of freak, you know, and they give you some kind of comment about, I don't know, having long hair, you know, why aren't, you know, like, you know,
Always
just
dressed in black.
yeah, you
Yeah.
know, normal bullshit, you know, but it was just like worse back then because it wasn't like the whole kind of metal and gothic-y type culture wasn't really a part of it, you know. It was like, what, you know, like for punk rockers and for metalheads, I mean, it was like extreme, like you were extreme outcast. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't, it's different now. You can't really describe it. Because now all that stuff is like accepted in pop culture and stuff like that. But back then, you know, really was. I mean, you know, you really were like, you know, a minority. Even though you might have chosen that path as being a minority, you definitely were a minority in the environment, and people definitely were not as easygoing and accepting of other things back then. It just wasn't like that. But you know, growing up like that, you know, you really have to make decisions if you want to, you know, if you believe in what you really believe in and stuff like that. And that's part of what made my love for music and my love for, you know, metal in general, like, I think stronger, because it wasn't easy to be a metalhead. You had to really want it. You had to really believe in it, you know? So I think, you know, it's not that being discriminated against or whatever because you're a metalhead is a good thing. But, you know, I look at it, no matter what you're dealt with in life, you try to find something positive out of it. And, you know, for me, you know, I basically was like living life in the 80s, you know, either it was metal, punk, or like thrash and like early death metal stuff. And I'd have to basically go around telling everybody, fuck you. You know, I do my own thing, and all you guys can fuck off. I mean, I used to get people even just make fun of me because I would go to like a club like L'Amour's or something on the weekend, and if, you know, on Monday in school, I'd wear whatever shirt of the show I went to, and people would kind of make fun of me, like, you know, what are you into all this weird stuff? You always come in with these weird shirts of bands that nobody knows or whatever, you know. And yes, you have to totally have to deal with that shit, you know. And I think a lot of us back then, I think in general, metalheads have to deal with being judged anyway. But in my opinion, I think it was worse then, just because none of that stuff was even like remotely accepted.
Yeah, man. Totally.
The exact same thing. I mean, I can't even count how many times you'd find a car drive by and they go, Black Sabbath, dude. But the thing is that that's just not calling out. It was followed with like a soda getting thrown at you, or a brick, or I mean, I remember getting chased by at least 10 dudes coming from a playground because there was just me and my buddy wearing like Metallica or Iron Maiden shirts. You know what I mean? And that was enough. My parents were vehemently against my interest in this music. You know, they ripped the posters off my walls more times than I can count. I had my shirts chopped up as oil rags more times than I can count. You know, I would find like cassettes broken in the trash can. You know, like they hated it. Now I think it's funny because they don't just embrace it, but it becomes a bragging rights for them. They're like, hey, my son goes and plays music around the world, and it's that horrible crap that he used to listen to, you know, and I can't believe this, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But
Totally.
but it was like a outcast thing that was on a completely different level, because you had, you know, people that were coming out of like clubs and stuff like that back then, like in the 80s and 90s. They were just ready to kick your ass.
Yeah,
and
man.
and you better run, you know what I mean, because you were just severely outnumbered, because there wasn't that many people that were into the music. You know, in my neighborhood there was maybe about like 3 of us, I think, that were really truly into it. And for the majority of the kids, they were all jocks, and you are the enemy. You know, you are the very reason why, you know, we direct our rage towards you, because it's like you're into Satan. You know, you must be a devil worshiper. I mean, I don't know how many times I heard that one. You know, it was a very hated thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I was just gonna say there were two things that also came to mind too. Is also just within the scene, like, you know, I was really into a lot of hardcore and punk and a lot of, you know, thrash and heavy metal and early stages of death metal kind of stuff. So I remember going to shows and getting beat up, you know, just going in the pit or something like that, because I remember going to CBGB's and getting beat up by the Lower East Side Skins because I was, you know, wearing a D.R.I. shirt at a Corrosion Conformity show. And, you know, that just, you know, they just like, who the fuck's his long hair in our skinhead pit, you know, and he's obviously a poser because he likes D.R.I. and not, you know, I'm not wearing, I don't know, Agnostic Front or, you know, Straight Ahead or whatever band. But that, and another thing too, is that one time I remember distinctively, I got pulled over coming home from practice. It was, I think it was in camp practice. And I remember the cop, like, I had a little bat in my car because I used to have to worry about getting jumped or whatever, you know, in that time. And somebody without me knowing it carved in the word kill on the bat. So the cop ends up pulling me over, and he goes to search my car and finds the bat. And he was just like, what does this mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, nothing.
Man, you're in trouble.
yeah. I mean, the cops in my neighborhood were the exact same way as well. I mean, I remember that there was this one that would literally just take his badge and take his gun off and put it in the trunk and then beat up my buddy.
Yeah. Well, this,
you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I mean, it was definitely a struggle. You know, if you wanted to be metal, you're risking yourself.
Yeah. To finish the story though, where it comes to with the metal part of it, it was that he was like looking through all my tapes that I had in my car at the time, and he was just like, "What the hell is this?" You know? And he's like, "Where are the drugs at? I want to know where the drugs are at." And I didn't have any drugs on me. I didn't do drugs at all. So he was like, "I know you got drugs. Where are they at? Just tell me. You know, you won't get in as much trouble or whatever." And I was like, "I don't have them. You know." But he at the end of the time, he was like, "I couldn't find where you hid the drugs, you know," and you know, he was really pissed, but like, you know, I would arrest you for the music you listen to if I could, but I can't. So you're lucky, you know? So yeah, we had to, and that was not abnormal for me or any of my friends in my time to have to deal with something like that. It was just, you know, when people now don't understand the struggles that you had to have. I mean, I know some people probably get teased, of course, you know, and there's problems now, but it was really like, you're really an outcast or a rebel, or there was something wrong with you if you were into metal.
Sure. I mean, our small little group in high school and everything, we were targets, you know, and you had to stick together. You know, if you didn't, you were in for it, you know, and you know, the lunchroom, you know, we had riots. A couple of them even made the news. I'm dead serious, you know, and it was just, I remember my buddies driving around their car trying to run people over and everything. Like, dude, it was a wild time back then. You know, it wasn't, it's not like it is nowadays, you know.
It definitely wasn't like what you'd expect from the nuclear family in the 50s for us, you know.
Sign of the times, though, you know.
Totally.
Nowadays, they all love it, you know, which is cool, you know.
You know, the situations like that grows hair on your chest, you know.
Oh, yeah. Hairy, very hairy chest.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I bet. Guys, the next question I got for you is, I understand that Chuck is the one who is completely into the occult themes and that kind of knowledge. And that shows in every single line and in the gloomy atmosphere that dominates Unholy Deification, along with another so much albums from your past. But how is it that Kyle, Luke, and John pick up the feeling of what Chuck puts in the lyrics and successfully translate it into something so conceptually and sonically overwhelming?
That was directed towards you, man.
I don't know necessarily. I mean, it's just, I think, like, I mean, we started writing the music before we were writing, before I knew about the concept or what the concept really was. I might have known like a really rudimentary version of what it was about, but I really didn't know. But I think possibly, and I guess Chuck, you could elaborate on this, but maybe you might have heard some of the stuff or just figured out like this concept that you have is going to work or not with the lyrics. I mean, I think probably anything can kind of work with the lyric, with the music for some, as long as it has a dark vibe to it. But I don't know, maybe you kind of knew that it could work in this situation or something. But for myself and the rest of us, I think we just were working on trying to make sure like all the rhythm parts and even the vocal patterns and the vocal style and everything really expressed what what we felt musically, and also with doing the lyrics and stuff. I thought it was really important to try to be expressive as possible with Chuck's concept on it. But as far as like knowing or like altering it, I really don't think we really altered anything that much for the concept. I don't think it was more just like seeing if it fits lyrically the songs into what we were doing. I mean, it's kind of, I think it's the lyrics are on top of what we did musically more than anything, but maybe I'm wrong. It's hard for me to say necessarily. I mean, sometimes you vibe off the lyrics, a little bit. Like after we do the lyrics, maybe a lead will come out or some other idea will come out that to express it. But go ahead, Chuck. I'm sorry.
No. It's accurate enough. But I mean, I would say for the most part, whenever I was writing, from times in the past up into this one, is that the nature of our music is always going to be that dark, aggressive, or doom laden. It's like there's no way that anything that I write wouldn't fit to what we do.
Yeah.
Because it's always going to have a dark nature. It's always going to be blasphemous. It's always going to be something, either from occultism or history or folklore or whatever, that are always extremely dark topics. And, the music that we write is always of that nature. I mean, the two would complement regardless. So like when I was writing the concept, I don't even think we even had music ready for this yet at the time. So it was like almost completely finished. And then what we do is when everything was, stylized, we would go back in and then re-edit or rewrite or remove or add, phrasings or syncopate it in a different way, create like different arrangement or even down to syllable levels. You know what I mean? Those things happen in an actual like after the fact. In previous songs and stuff like that, if I wrote a particular song, it has a beginning, middle, and end. So we would work in tandem with that to make sure that there's still a flow to the story that I'm trying to portray when each and one of them is an individual story. This one, it's 10 parts of a story, and regardless of what we would write, there's always going to be a way to manipulate it into the music that we create. It's never even never compromise either end. That's all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
That's all. Yeah.
Oh, I think that at least on my end, sometimes I'll see what Chuck's lyrics are and kind of get a vibe off it. I mean, sometimes it's like the just the way it was written out, the structures of the lines or something, or maybe just something in the lyrics that like fits. Like I think for me, like I think the lyrics in the Humongulous song really, I knew when I was looking through the lyrics that really is going to fit with these riffs that we're doing and stuff. And I think it did fit well. So sometimes, I'm able to kind of pick out, or one of us are able to pick out a song that lyrics that might fit to a certain music. But, a lot of times it's just kind of, see what works and kind of fuck around with stuff until you kind of get get something that kind of makes sense or whatever. You just kind of know when it seems like you kind of know when it's right, because you know what patterns you're looking for. You try to see what song has those kind of something that could work in that pattern a little bit. And then of course, Chuck, like Chuck was saying, yes, sometimes alter things to make sure that they still make sense with, the patterns that need to work right with the music and stuff.
Yeah, it's all malleable.
Yeah, man, definitely it works because this album is one of the heaviest and darkest I ever heard, and I have a really nice time, great time, fun time listening to it over and over again. Congratulations!
So happy you like it. That's great.
Yeah, I'm honored. Thank you. That's awesome, man.
I got one more question for you guys, and is this, John, Chuck, for over 30 years, Incantation has been a cornerstone, this legendary band, because Incantation is a legend, hands down, and you are an inspiration for many metalheads, me included. What do you think is the most vital thing a band can do in order to keep smashing heads and showing no signs of ever wanting to stop after such a long career?
I don't know. I think the most important thing is to be honest with yourself. I mean, I made a decision in my life that I was going to live my life the way I want to do it and not the way society tells me to do it. So that's very important to just be honest with yourself. And, I think it's important too, if we're talking about a musician aspect of it, I think it's very important to make sure that the music you write is expressive of, it has your own personality in it. It's not just, I guess you have to make a decision like I did early on. It's like, am I going to write music for popularity or am I going to write music for passion? And, I decided to do it for more of a passion reason. So,
sorry about that.
It's super easy to, continue doing something that you enjoy doing and that's really close to your heart and stuff. I just think it's also very important to not listen to what other people say. And, if people want to put you down for, anything that you like or whatever, you need to just be like, fuck you, you got to do what you want to do in your way. I mean, music and the stuff you like, it is kind of the key to your own personal freedom. It's like, if you're able to enjoy the stuff you enjoy and not give a fuck about what anybody else thinks, to me, that's a super liberating stance to have on stuff.
Yeah, man. What about you, Chuck?
I got this gentleman who likes to play his music very loud.
I don't hear it, so that's good.
I do. You don't hear it. Thank goodness for that. All right. I would say that never lose sight of why you started your band. Keep that focus. If tastes change or things, members change or influences, any of that nature, I can't even fucking talk, dude. This thing is so loud, dude.
We can hear it.
A little bit.
Yeah. It's atrocious and it's fucking deafening, and I don't know where else to go. So I am sorry.
Don't
go
worry.
on with the next question. I can't even think straight.
Okay, man.
Sorry.
Last May you came to Mexico to play at Chamuco Metal Fest and completely annihilated. And what are your favorite things to do while you guys are in Mexico with the release of Unholy Deification, your newest album? We will be seeing you back soon.
Yeah, we are doing the Hell in Heaven Fest, so that's going to be something really awesome and exciting. I'm really looking forward to that. We have so many friends in Mexico, and the people are always so hospitable that it's always a fun time to be there and just to hang out with you know, the metalheads and our friends and stuff like that. And of course, like we spoke about earlier before the interview, getting some fucking tacos or quesadillas.
Yeah.
That's, you know, some street tacos. I mean, that's the shit, you know.
It's really good.
Never had any Mexico City street tacos, you're really missing out on one of the wonderful things in life.
What are your favorite tacos? I mean, because there's a plenty of meat to choose from.
I like chorizo. I like the spicy. I like, it's just super greasy. It's terrible for you, but I love it, you know. But I do like I like, you know, any kind of beef or chicken tacos or even, you know, whatever. I mean, most meats I'm pretty cool with as long as it's not like dog or something like that, you know. like we used to have a joke that there was we'd see a 3-legged dog by the taco stand and be like, damn. It's like you feel bad for that dog, but you're like, the taco tastes so damn good.
Well, we went to a taco stand that was in Cozumel after the 70,000 tons cruise, and I remember that this guy took us to this one where there was nothing but warthogs everywhere, and he goes, yeah, one of them is Pumbaa, and I'm like, oh, and I said, is that what's in the truck? And he's like, no. Maybe.
Oh,
but they
have some good.
The
seasoning's so good, like it almost doesn't matter what kind of meat it is, you know. That's what's great about it.
I mean, I joke, of course, because they were very, very good tacos, man. And I love the chorizo. I like carnes. I'm sorry, I said that earlier, but carnitas. I like those a lot, and I love Al Pastor. You know, all three of them were fantastic too.
Yeah, man. Definitely. When you come to Mexico, hopefully I can invite you some of the best in the city, because I know if there's one thing I know about is tacos, and I got a belly to do that.
Dude, we're all about it. Trust me. It's like, I remember at the Metal Fest there, I was talking to Victor from Chamuco Productions. I'm just like, dude, where are the fucking tacos, dude? You know, it's like, we need some fucking tacos. How am I supposed to play this fucking show knowing that there's all these great street tacos around and they're not in my stomach, you know?
And actually, to make note of that too, is that, like, you know, Mexico in general and the fans and everything are something to really that I appreciate and value an awful lot. Because like the last time we were down there, I'm going to repeat this story because I still just find it amazing. I met this guy in Leon who actually came from Chihuahua, so he was like 12-hour drive to get down there, and you know, it's just that kind of dedication and commitment to come and see us is just it's staggering. And then second was that at the Chamuco Fest with D.R.I and Cataclysm, everything's like an amphitheater. There's no flat ground anywhere, and these guys are pitting hard in front of that stage. They are barreling each over, falling down steps, and they just kept it up the entire show. And I'm like, wow. Like, it was awesome, that kind of energy, you know? It was great.
Yeah, moshing on steps. I mean, that's fucking underground as fuck. That's metal as fuck.
Dude.
That's our thing.
And it just makes you want to play even harder, you know?
Yeah,
you
see that, you're just like, damn, dude. Yeah.
And I'll repeat this one too, because it's just fucking awesome to watch him. There's this dude, he's like a tank. You know what I mean? And he's got no shirt on. He pulls out his phone to do like a selfie, and he puts the flashlight on it and just rips through like 10 people, dude. It's like bodies are falling everywhere, and they're falling down steps. Oh, it was a sight to hold, man. A sight to behold, you know? That was really cool. Yeah, you guys are fucking brutal, man. That's great.
Yeah. I look forward to coming back for sure.
Yeah, man. We would love to have you back at the Hell in Heaven and by yourself, because you totally smash all the things on your way. And guys, that's all. Those are all the questions I got for you. And if you can help me, give me some questions for the next guest on Conversations from the Underground.
What's your favorite Lovecraft story?
Good one, man. What about you?
I want to say, what's your favorite style of cheese?
That will be a tricky one. There's so many.
I know. That's good.
Well, guys, just to wrap up, thanks a lot for your time, for being such unique and sincere in this interview. I always try to talk to people, not just the artists. I want to talk to people so the people who watch this video can relate to this person on the channel, because at the end of the day, we are all human beings. We are all just people who is passionate about something, in this occasion about metal, about death metal in specific, and we all can do this. Just it's a matter of picking up the courage and just go on the road and do your thing. Thanks a lot for your time. I admire you a lot, and I can thank you enough.
Thank you for having us, man. I really appreciate it. Look forward to meeting you in person in the future, man. It'd be killer. We should hang out, man. It'd be awesome.
Thank you so much for the interview. It was really cool. And, like Chuck said, we look forward to seeing you and stuff. And we look forward to seeing all of our friends in Mexico. We always have it. It's always a great time. And honestly, you always make it such a pleasure to perform for you guys live. I mean, it just the raging, the intensity, the energy is just top notch, and it makes it fun, really fun for us. We have to thank you guys, for making it awesome for us too, because it's not just you guys are not just enjoying the show. I mean, we're enjoying playing the fucking shows. It's cool as fuck for us. It's not just we're both sides are getting a lot out of it. We'll say, it's awesome.
That's great, man. That's great. And thanks a lot. Haters, eso es lo que tenemos en esta entrevista con nuestros amigos Chuck y John de Incantation, la gran banda de death metal. Por favor, no se pierdan su más reciente álbum que salió el día de hoy, 25 de agosto, Unholy Deification, a través de Relapse Records. Es un trabajo que está excelente. Ya subimos la reseña al canal. Guys, thanks a lot again, and I will see you soon.
Okay, adios.
Take care, man. Have a good one, man. Take care.